my mother was given the choice of divorce or abortion. So, and of course I'm sitting here, so you know what the choice she made. Um, and through my life, she's had three marriages, and you know, they had their faults. Um, the last one was kind of abusive. He was a good guy, but he had addiction, and when he was in his active addiction, it caused him to make bad choices. So all through my life, in order to make up for the bad that was going on, I had a lot of good too. But I always searched for God. I was always searching for something, didn't know it was God. That's a better way to put it. On my own as a kid, I went to church. As I was growing up, I still had to mess with the wrong things, and I eventually was addicted to drugs. I ended up getting divorced. I haven't seen children that I have in. I seen my son when he was 10, and my daughter when she was 7. My daughter is now 22, and my son is 18. And so, but on that note, family has been, I isolated all my family. But now, except my mother, and I was close to doing that. But now I'm back in God's graces, and through that, I have gained more people I consider my family than I could ever imagine. And starting right here, my mother, my grandmother calls me now. We speak. Slowly my biological family's coming back to talking to me. But I also, through things God has done, even outside of the church, I'm in a member of a 12-step recovery program. And I've got people that I consider family in that too. And I never knew what that was, and now I do. I lied, I stole, I hurt people, I did a lot of drugs, I've lived on the street, At one point in time, I lived in a sewer drain. I've lived where I lived in abandoned houses, moving from one place to another. So I know from one end to the other what it's like. I also know that I had to be there at those places. At the time, I thought it was fun, even though it wasn't fun, all right? Because I thought it was fun because I always made sure I was clean some way, So I got the people would say, "You're about the cleanest homeless person I've ever met," I had a pastor up in North Carolina that would actually, when I would sit in his services, that's exactly what he would tell everybody. That's the cleanest homeless person I ever met. And I wanted something so bad that I used to sleep on the church property in a tent that I went and got. And I would attend the services that they had every night and then go back and sleep in the tent. Until one day I ended up in jail. And while I was in jail, that pastor came and got me. When I got out, he came and picked me up and took me back to the drug rehab they had there. And I was there for a year and a half. And that's probably when I got the closest with God. Although I was introduced to him a long time ago. After I left there, it wasn't 30 days after I got out of the structure that I was in. It wasn't 30 days I was back in jail and back using drugs again. So now and since then, since I moved back down here from North Carolina, I had gotten out of jail. I went and lived at Must Ministries for a little while. And then I ended up finding a hotel over here that I was living in for a little bit. And I was making good money. It was just that quick. It came back on me. and I wanted to go to church and not do anything wrong, and that's how it was at that time. So I went to the movies one day, just went, just because that I love the movies. So while I was there, I seen this ticket. It said free ticket or a free ticket or something. I can't even remember exactly what it said, but it caught my eye, and they were on it. And the next weekend, I didn't have a car. I was walking, and I was over there on Barrett Lakes Drive, and I couldn't find the ticket, so I didn't know exactly which theater they were in. So I just prayed that I would walk in the right direction, but I just started walking towards the one by the mall, and it was there, and I've been here ever since.
It's been a blessing, too.
And in this time that I've been here, in this 4 years, they have been the most faithful pastors any one person could ask for. I disappeared on them, and I think twice. But one time stands out most of all because I started using again. And I know they knew that I was using, but they still did not refuse not to help me. Then one day, I ended up getting arrested. I went to jail, and I had no way to contact anybody for 3 months, not even my own mother. Okay, so nobody heard from me. I got somebody that was in jail with me that got out to call my mother. So they called my mother, and my mother wrote me a letter, and I got her phone number, and I called her. I asked her to contact them. And do you know that a week after my mother contacted him, he was visiting me in the jail. And I'll never forget that.
We love you. You've been in jail, you've been through drugs, you've been in and out, you've slept in a tent, you slept in sewer drains. Where are you now?
Now I've got more family, like I said, more family than I could ever imagine having. I have a church that I absolutely love coming to. I have my own business. It was Richard Petty's driving experience. They're out of North Carolina and found me on Google and called me to come and do a trade show they were doing in Marietta.
Didn't even know him. But of all the people that wash cars, they chose Accountable Auto Detail, which I love his name.
And Accountable Auto Detail, that is my business's name. And of course, as you can tell, I tried to name it something I could live up to. He uses the people around you to help you. And if you keep pushing them away, you're not going to get what he's got for you. And that's what I was doing for a long time. I was just trying to rely just on him and not anybody he put in my life. In the program that I'm in, after a certain period of time, other people that come into the program that see what you've got, that like what you have, will ask you to show them how to get it. And so that's what I have a sponsee, and I have a sponsor. And he's a big part of my family too. But anyway, we get close, we build relationships, and we show them, and it gives you opportunities to show them how to get what I have, which I'm just now accepting that I like what I am. I like who I am and who I'm growing into.
Praise God.
My clean date is March 23rd. This month coming up, September 23rd, will be 18 months. I just want everybody here to know I love you. Even if I don't know you, you can count on the fact that I love you. If you need anything from me, I'm around. I promise you can find me. And if somebody comes in here asking for Curly, that's me.